This video is sponsored by Bright Data. I built an automated video news station. Have you ever opened up your favorite news app and have just been bombarded with tens or even hundreds of articles? Even if you looked up a video on the subject, you'd have to wait a certain period of time before the video is even made. What if we can automate the process by creating an automated news bot that would create a video describing the current news in a short video? Hi, my name's Lewis and I've been developing software for many years. And today I'm going to be challenging myself to build another video bot. You might remember my last video bot where it would automatically create a Reddit video when you ran the command. It went viral and had millions of views everywhere and hit top trending on GitHub. All right, context break is over. Let's get cracking. So how are we going to do all this? All right, coders, sit down for a second. All great things need a plan. Let's take this step by step. 1. We need to grab newspaper articles from different websites across the web. We will choose a standard couple of sources to begin with. We also want to track when something new comes up so we can trigger the generator to work again. 2. Using some sort of artificial intelligence or algorithm thing, we need to shorten the article to the most important parts. We essentially need to TLDR the thing so that we can fit it into a 30 or 60-second clip. 3. Find some speech-to-text bot that can read the article in a somewhat human tone. I don't want no Microsoft Sam reading this out loud.
I am Microsoft Sam.
So we need some sort of advanced AI to at least read this out loud for us. Perhaps we can have it where we can have different voices speak for different sources or something. Maybe I'm getting carried away. Number 4 is go sentence by sentence on the bot and get a relevant image or stock clip associated with what is being read out loud. If you want to make a video, you have to make it engaging and at least relevant to what's being shown on the screen. 5 is to use MoviePie to put it all together into a video clip and have it export so I can view it. It's important here to credit the correct sources for when we grab a news article. Journalism is very important and this cannot go uncredited. We could also get it to email me or send me a notification saying I have a new video to watch, but I'm getting carried away. Maybe I'll leave that one out. 6 is optional as well, but maybe creating a standardized JSON file that my software can read so that if I need to change something manually, it can read it and bypass all of the other stuff. Almost like a save file or a config file, but I'm already getting carried away as is. All right, when we break it down into micro pieces, it seems a little bit more doable. So let's get started. Step 1. Now, the first step might be the hardest step, finding news sources. I think a really good idea would be to have crowdsourced sources added in at a later time. But for now, I think I'm going to add 3. 1, the Associated Press News, 2, the BBC or British Broadcasting Corporation, and 3, Reuters. I specifically chose sources that don't have a paywall on them for obvious reasons. Now, how do we get these articles straight from these websites? Thankfully, Bright Data, the sponsor of this video, makes this extremely easy. Scraping data has lots of gotchas, like IP blacklisting, country-specific IP identifying, unreliable data, and more. Bright Data makes this easy by having a gigantic IP proxy network that is able to handle unlimited concurrent connections, worldwide coverage, and the ability to collect data at scale. I also don't have to host this myself. Big plus. All right, so I'm going to create a data collector and use a pre-built template to understand how I'm going to build this. Now, there's 2 types of code to write here. How our crawler interacts as a human being and the code that tells the crawler what to grab. I'll use this in-browser IDE to do it for me. Now, I'm going to crawl the RSS feed from the BBC to get the list of articles worth generating. Once it goes to the article, we'll need the title, the author, and the article. To prevent us from constantly getting the same article, we'll just store the URL as a unique ID. The process of doing this on Bright Data is extremely easy, and I can debug step by step any issue that I run along the way. After it's all set up, we can choose how it gets delivered to me. It's super customizable, so I can choose if I want to grab it through an API endpoint, have it sent to a webhook, Amazon S3, whatever. Even if you don't want to use the built-in collector, you can still benefit from Bright Data's massive proxy network to use in your own existing code bases throughout their web scraper IDE. Thanks Bright Data for sponsoring this video and helping with this step of the process. All right, step 1, done. Step 2. After Bright Data sends in the request, now we have to summarize this article into something short and sweet. Now, the world of natural language processing is very complex. I love this field, and getting into the nitty-gritty is so fun. But when motivation strikes for a project, do it the fastest you can. Ain't nobody got time for that. I used OpenAI's DaVinci text-based input and found that I got a really good results when I used the prompt in the playground. Summarize this article as if you're presenting it to an audience, followed by the article itself. Honestly, not bad at all. So for now, I'm happy with this result. I'll change this when I fundraise $10 billion for this idea. Let's insert that in and we're starting to look real good. For testing purposes, I just have to spit it out on the screen. Cool, I'm happy with the results. We can also set maximum length in the future and maybe change the prompt if we want to be a little dramatic. All right, on to the next step. Step 3. Looking back at the Reddit bot, we were able to get away with the questionable AI voice from Microsoft Sam. For that type of format, it worked, but if we're talking about news which are events for humans, you would want something more human to say it. So this time I decided to grab Google Cloud's text-to-speech using the Neural 2 engine that is new of this video.
With cloud machine learning, your application interprets images, texts, and so much more.
Now, using this requires a little bit of setup. So I quickly added the configuration files and added in the code that will send the summarized text to the Google VoiceOver. When we get the voice back,
Activision Blizzard, one of the world's largest game developers, announced.
Sounds good. Not bad for an AI voice. Now, this is where BrightData's webhooks start coming in handy, because it's doing a lot of the processing off the screen, and my code can run through a webhook and generate at any time. Now, this is going to be really good when we throw this up on a server, but we aren't done yet. Step 4. Okay, this is the part that I've been dreading. Figuring out the math to split up these sentences to get relevant information on. Now, the reason we need timestamps specifically is because when we go to the next step, we need to know how long to display each clip based on the duration of that scene. So after some Googling, what does programmers do? I found out that Google uses this markup called SSML. Speech Synthesis Markup Language. Interesting. From my scientific research, you use an HTML or XML-like markup that goes around your text that the text-to-speech knows how to pronounce your words. Like if I wanted to delay or something. Now we gotta go back and edit step 2 a little bit. Here's the code that I reproduced. What we can do is have our summarized code split into sentences using the period delimiter and just use Python to wrap some tags before and after. Now we can save the time values to a variable or JSON file, whatever. All right, MoviePie, here we come. Now we need the right images and videos to have. I'm going to go back to BrightData to edit my code so we can scrap the image URLs as well. When it comes to the news, we need sometimes relevant photography or video that is specifically in the article. BrightData makes it easy for me to just go back into the code without having anything crash, which is something we're a little bit too familiar with. So if I was editing this on a final version, it would be easy to make some sort of tweaks before pushing out a new version of the crawler. At first, I thought getting the first word of every single sentence was a passable way to do this. Oh, how I was very wrong. So I'm going to create a new function where I ask OpenAI to highlight the 2 most important words in each sentence. That way it makes a prediction of what each sentence is about. This way it doesn't create some crazy out of context video. Step 5. After this, I used MoviePie to compile everything together so that it plays in sequence. I copied a lot of the video making from my Reddit bot that I made. That being said, some incredible contributors have cleaned it up immensely and have made the final project awesome. After a lot of trial and error, we have an awesome product.
Over 1 million are owed money by failed crypto exchange.
Over 1 million people and businesses could be owed money following the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX, according to bankruptcy filings. There have also been reports
Mr. Beast overtakes PewDiePie as most subscribed YouTuber.
In a momentous shift, Mr. Beast has ended PewDiePie's reign as the...
Let's clean it up a little. Step 6. I'm going to output a lot of what we received in our variables into a standardized JSON file, like the timestamps, the data, the author, and everything else. That way, if we need to do some debugging, we can see it all there. We can have it launch and run every time it detects a change. Something I can do too is have BrightData notify me when something isn't working right in my code, which sadly happened often. Something I loved about this bot is that it kept me updated in real time while also engaging me with a unique perspective. I think it's really neat being able to create videos automatically using modern day software, and the process of automating it is also a learning experience that I can share with you. If you'd like to see the source code, let me know in the comments and I can open source it. I want to thank Bright Data for sponsoring this video. Their data scraping toolkit made the data collection for this project a breeze. There are endless ways to use Bright Data, from monitoring your competitors' prices, understanding user sentiment, and even identifying business trends even before they happen. Just define the data you need and they can collect it for you. If you want to try out Bright Data in your project, click the link in my description. They're offering you $25 of credit to test out their platform when booking a demo. What project do you guys want to see me do next? Peace out, coders.